What if I told you that this Sunday will decide whether Kiplimo turns the world upside down again, or whether Lisbon steals the glory from him once more? Why does someone who already ran a historic time have to prove it again? What is it about Lisbon that makes the impossible possible? And what is it about it that can destroy everything in a single kilometer? And here comes the uncomfortable question. If the day is perfect, will he truly go for the record, or just for the win? Stay with me. In the next few minutes, you'll know exactly what needs to happen for it to occur, what could prevent it, and how to recognize it live before anyone else does. The mark in Barcelona wasn't just another victory. It was one of those races that makes the entire running world look at the clock and say, "This isn't normal." Kiplimo crossed the line with a time that felt like it came from another planet. For a few hours, the feeling was clear. The world record had changed. But then the twist came. Because running fast is one thing, having that record written in history forever is another. That performance never appeared as the official world record. Not because someone ran faster that same day. Not because of bad luck. Because of rules. Technical details. Call it what you want. But the result is this. The record didn't keep his name. And for an athlete at that level, that's not a small anecdote. It's a thorn. Because in elite sport, there's something heavier than an incredible time. Being undeniable. And that's why Lisbon becomes dangerous. Kiplimo isn't coming here to run a good time. He's not here to test himself. He's not here to warm up the season. He's here to take back something he feels is his. And that changes the entire mental approach. When a runner starts a race thinking, "Let's see what happens," he runs one kind of race. When he starts to rewrite a story, he runs a completely different one. There's another layer almost nobody talks about: pressure. Because once you've run a historic mark, the world expects you to repeat it. And when it's not an official record, the pressure doubles. You don't just have to run fast. You have to run fast in a way nobody can question. That's why Lisbon isn't random. Lisbon is a place where he already knows the course allows people to fly. A place where the pace can stay constant. A place where, if the day cooperates, the clock doesn't defend itself. And now comes the key question that changes everything. Is Kiplimo coming to attack the record from the start? Or will he wait, control the race, and destroy it at the end like an animal? Because if he chooses the second option, it could be even more dangerous. And here's the thing. There's a signal that gives it away in the opening kilometers. Just one. If in the first split he looks comfortable, no strange gestures, no desperation, but with that smooth cadence, that stride that doesn't even look fast while the clock keeps breaking, then he's not running to win. He's running to make history. Lisbon isn't just another half marathon. It's a race built for speed. If Kiplimo wants this record to be unquestionable, this course gives him tools few races can offer. First, the course invites a constant rhythm. For a record attempt, that's gold. The biggest enemy of a fast time isn't fatigue. It's braking, changing pace, restarting, searching for rhythm again. That's where the useless seconds disappear. In Lisbon, if your body finds rhythm, it can stay there. And in a half marathon, that's half the job done. Second, sea level. It sounds minor, but it isn't. At sea level, the body performs slightly better when you're on the edge. It doesn't gift minutes, but it gives something more valuable. The effort feels slightly more manageable when you're running extremely fast. Third, the date. March. That usually means cooler temperatures. And when we talk about records, temperature isn't a detail, it's a switch. Too hot. The body protects itself and the attempt dies. Cool conditions. The body lets you push longer. Fourth, the asphalt and how runnable the course is. It's not just flat. It's about avoiding micro breaks, tight turns, sudden lane shifts, rough surfaces. Those destroy rhythm without you noticing. A runnable course is like a giant track. You just push, and the ground doesn't steal energy from you. Fifth, Lisbon has history. That matters more than people think. When a race is known for fast times, organizers take care of details. The start, the spacing, logistics, and often the rhythm itself. And if there's rhythm, if there's a serious group, everything becomes easier. You hide in the pack. You're protected. You save energy while still moving fast. And here's the best part. Kiplimo already knows what it's like to run fast in Lisbon. He's not arriving to an unknown course to improvise. He arrives somewhere his body and mind already say, "Here, it's possible." But now comes the uncomfortable part. Lisbon also has an invisible enemy. An enemy that doesn't appear on posters. That doesn't show on the screen. That you can't train for. And that can ruin a record even if you're in the best shape of your life. That enemy is wind. Wind is the silent killer of records. You don't see it. It doesn't appear on the clock. But when it arrives, it turns a historic day into a almost. Lisbon has a particularly sensitive section, the bridge and the open river area. There are no buildings to protect you. No barriers. No tricks. If the wind decides to play, you pay. And here's what many people don't understand. It's not just wind or no wind. Wind destroys attempts in two ways. First, headwind. It's like someone pushing your chest backwards. The pace looks the same, but the body spends far more energy. And in a half marathon, spending too much early means paying with interest later. Second, crosswind. Even more treacherous. It doesn't stop you suddenly, but it destabilizes you, forces posture adjustments, disrupts stride. At the limit, every extra movement is wasted energy. That's why on windy days something curious happens. Records don't disappear because of bad fitness. They disappear because of strategy. The best runners hide. They tuck behind others. They wait. If the group doesn't cooperate, the record dies. And here's the interesting part for you watching live. You can detect it immediately. Signal 1. The group forms a snake shape. Runners line up diagonally to block the wind. Signal 2. Nobody wants to lead. If everyone keeps changing position, the wind is expensive. Signal 3. Strange pace fluctuations. Wind breaks perfect rhythm. And when rhythm breaks, the record slips away. Now comes the key question. If the wind is there, what does Kiplimo do? Does he obsess over the clock and sacrifice the race? Or does he play smart, win, and save the record attempt for another day? Because if he goes for the record with wind, we're not watching a race. We're watching a gamble. And here's the best part. You can know within the first kilometers if it's a record attempt. Don't look at the clock. Look at his face and the group size. If Kiplimo looks calm, relaxed, protected, and the group is large and smooth, there's a real chance. But if you see him early at the front, alone, exposed, pushing like he's in a hurry, then get ready. Because that means he didn't come to win. He came to burn the world, even if it costs him the race. This is where everything gets decided. A half marathon isn't broken by starting fast. It's broken by starting perfectly. In 21 kilometers, if you go slightly too hard early, you don't pay a little. You pay with a wall. And here's a rule almost nobody understands. The record isn't decided at kilometer 5. It's decided when the body tells you to stop, and you keep going. That usually happens between kilometers 15 and 19. That's where normal athletes fall apart, and where a monster like Kiplimo becomes something else. How do they do it? First, stable rhythm. No heroics. The start should feel easy, even if the pace is insane. Second, efficiency. Elite runners going for a record don't look desperate. They look like they're floating. Watch the shoulders. Watch the arms. Watch the stride. Third, the true checkpoint. Not kilometer 10. Not 12. Kilometer 15. If the rhythm stays stable and the form remains smooth, the attempt is alive. And here's something rarely explained. A record attempt isn't about pushing harder. It's about not getting worse. Because at those speeds, the body wants to collapse. The champion is the one who keeps the same cadence while everything inside breaks. If you see the stride getting sharper, quicker, not bigger, then you're watching a real attempt. Now everyone will ask, okay, but who else is running? Here's what we know, and what I won't invent. Kiplimo is confirmed. His presence in Lisbon 2026 is official. When someone like him signs up for a fast March half marathon, it's not tourism. It's a mission. But the full elite field usually appears very close to race day. What matters more is the race dynamics. For a record, you usually need one of two things. 1. A strong group holding pace for many kilometers. Protection, stability, energy savings. 2. Pacers or organized rhythm early on, because running alone at the front costs huge energy. So what does this mean for Lisbon? Even if Kiplimo is the star, the record depends on whether the race becomes a train or a war. If it's a train, record possible. If it's a war, record becomes a lottery. And here's the crucial detail. If the group isn't strong, Kiplimo has two choices: run to win, or run against the clock. If he chooses the clock without protection, then this isn't a race. It's a demonstration, and you'll know it instantly. If he stays hidden and calm, he's measuring. If he moves to the front early, he came for the time. So here are the three scenarios for Sunday. Scenario 1, perfect day, cool weather, no wind, clean rhythm, cooperative group. Lisbon becomes a highway. Then Kiplimo doesn't need to invent anything. He just needs to maintain the perfect rhythm when the body begs for mercy. If kilometer 10 looks calm and smooth, the attempt is alive. Scenario 2, wind and smart survival. The record becomes harder, but the race is still valuable. Then it becomes tactical. Everyone hides. Patience wins. And if Kiplimo reaches the final kilometers with legs, he can finish mercilessly. Scenario 3, war from the middle. The most entertaining and the most dangerous. Attacks, surges, chaos. The record may die, but the race becomes epic. And sometimes in chaos, the wildest attempts appear. If Kiplimo breaks away alone and runs like the world is chasing him, then this is no longer strategy. It's pride. Now you have the checklist to read the race before anyone else. Look at the start. Look at the group. Look at his position. Look at kilometer 15. Look at the cadence at the end. Then ask yourself, will Lisbon give Kiplimo what Barcelona didn't leave written? Or will the clock once again remind us it has its own rules? Because the ending of this story doesn't depend only on him. It depends on the day. And in Lisbon, the day can be ally or executioner. Barcelona was historic, but not official. Lisbon is the chance to make it undeniable. So now tell me, do you think Kiplimo is coming for the record, or just for the victory? And on the screen, you'll find the video that explains how elite runners accelerate when their bodies want to stop. Because that's where legends are made.